Man, they said the Dynasty was dead. They watched us give up 39 points to Ole Miss in that Sugar Bowl loss and said, it's over. Kirby has lost his fastball. Right now, the national media is over here praising Lane Kiffin over at LSU for signing 20 mercenaries. But you want to know the truth? While everyone else was playing fantasy football, Kirby Smart performed a major surgery right here in Athens. The secondary needed a total overhaul, not a quick fix. And judging by the list he just pulled off, man, this 26 defense is ready to be unleashed.
I know I'm asking a lot, you guys, but Hunker is down one more time.
What's up, you beautiful people? Welcome back to the Hunker Down Podcast, the only place where we bleed red and black and refuse to apologize for it. Man, the portal window is finally shut. The roster is locked, and we can all breathe. Guys, I'm Matt.
And I'm Ryan, man. Matt, it feels good to be on the other side of January, doesn't it?
You ain't lying, man. It sure does. But look, before we dive into this absolute masterclass of a roster update, smash that like button and subscribe. We're building this army one dog at a time. Ryan, let's get straight into it. The narrative right now is panic because of the Sugar Bowl loss. But when we look at what Kirby actually did this month, I don't see panic, man. I see a plan. So let's address the elephant in the room right now. We gave up 39 points in the Sugar Bowl to Ole Miss. True. We did. It was ugly. We had 20 sacks all year, which is not a Kirby Smart defense normal. Bottom line. So naturally, the national media is screaming rebuild. They look at the rankings. They see Georgia sitting at number 20. Sitting at number 30 in the portal rankings, and they think we failed because we didn't sign 25 guys like Ole Miss or Arkansas. But, here's my take on it. We didn't need volume. We needed surgery. If you go to the grocery store, let me ask you this. If you go to the grocery store, Ryan, because your refrigerator's empty, what do? You buy everything in the store, basically. But if you go because you want to cook a specific steak dinner, you just buy the steak. And that's what Kirby did. Kirby went shopping for steak. We kept the core of that number 1 and number 2 signing class intact. We didn't have a mass exodus. So we didn't need to sign 20 guys just to have bodies for practice. We needed heavy hitters, and we needed them in specific spots, and that's what Kirby did.
Exactly right. The numbers back you up. The most important stat of this entire cycle isn't who we signed, it's who we kept. Only 12 active scholarship players entered the portal. That is the lowest attrition rate in the SEC. And that tells you right there that the culture is fine in Athens. And because we didn't lose our depth, we can afford to be picky. ESPN has 3 of our 9 additions in their top 100 transfers. That hit rate, man, it's absurdly high compared to teams that just sign anyone with a pulse.
Yeah, exactly, man. And let's talk about where we spent that capital. Because this is where I get excited. The secondary, we needed help there, and we needed help bad. We brought in 6,000 snaps of collegiate experience in the defensive backfield alone. And for me, the headliner, that's Khalil Barnes. This kid is coming home. He's from right down the road in Bogart, Georgia. He went to Clemson and absolutely balled out while he was there, man. I'm talking about a guy who, over the last 2 seasons, was the only player in the entire country with 7 interceptions and 3 forced fumbles. And let me tell you something. The national media won't emphasize this. The rumors, man, they were real. Barnes was literally about to get on a plane and head to Oxford, Mississippi. Pete Golden thought he had him. He thought he was about to steal a Georgia boy to anchor that Rebel defense. But when Kirby was able to sit him down, Barnes canceled that flight, and that tells you everything you need to know about the state of this program.
He's a massive upgrade, but he isn't the only headhunter we added. While everyone is talking about the stars, we need to talk about Jamari Ridley from East Carolina. And I know, East Carolina, you might be thinking, but turn on the tape. This guy's a missile. He plays with that old school Georgia violence, and you pair Ridley's aggression with Barnes' ball skills, that's going to be a scary backfield.
I agree, and I don't care where he comes from. That guy is a monster, and I love that pick. You get the star power of Barnes, the violence of Ridley, and then the strategy of Gentry Williams coming in from Oklahoma. This is a bridge move. When he's healthy, he locks down Big 12 receivers, but he's had shoulder issues in the past, and by bringing him in, we don't have to force Ellis Robinson to play 70 snaps against Texas or Bama if he's not ready. Williams, what he does, he allows us to bring the young guys along slowly. If we get 10 healthy games out of him, that secondary, I believe, is going to be elite. You can quote me on that.
I love the bridge concept. And we can't ignore the front seven. 20 sacks all year was embarrassing. So Kirby, what does he do? He goes to Auburn and steals Amaris Williams. The raw sack numbers, 2 sacks, yeah, it don't look crazy, but the film is wild. He had a disruption rate of nearly 40%. He is a twitchy player. We have plenty of 300-pound run stuffers, but we needed a missile off the edge to make the quarterback uncomfortable. Amaris, he's going to be that missile for us.
I couldn't agree more, man. I honestly believe he is. But let's flip it, Ryan. Let's look over to the offense right now. And I'm going to be honest with you. Last year, especially in that bowl game, we looked small. Okay, we had the speed, sure. We could run past people, but in that red zone, honestly, we got bullied. We lost Colby Young, we lost Robinson, and we lost that physical edge that we're known for. So what does the Kirby staff do? They went out and they got giants. Okay, let's look at who they got. They got Isaiah Canyon from Georgia Tech. This guy is 6'4", 215 pounds. He averaged 14.5 yards per catch. What I believe this is going to be our X receiver. This is the guy you throw the 50-50 ball to on the sideline when nobody else is open. He's not there to run jet sweeps. He's there to block on that perimeter and bully small corners. And then let's talk about somebody we haven't talked about yet, Dante Dowdell. This guy's a tank. He's 227 pounds. He's played at Oregon, Nebraska, and Kentucky, and he's been around the block, and he runs angry. You put those two together, man, watch out.
He runs angry for sure, and I've watched some tape on him. He averaged 5 yards a carry in the SEC at Kentucky, which prove his game, it translates. It reminds me of the Zamir White days when we needed a closer. When it's the fourth quarter and we have a lead, I don't want to get cute with trick plays. I just don't.
Agree.
I want to hand the ball to a 227-pound human and watch him fall forward for 4 yards. Dowdell gives us that identity back, kind of like Josh McCray did this past season.
I couldn't agree more. That is our missing piece right there. But before we get to the starters, we got to look at that addition that not a lot of people are talking about to our quarterback room, man. Bryson Beaver coming in from Oregon, man.
Yeah, the Oregon transfer, man. I love this pickup. I really do. He was an Elite 11 guy, originally a big-time recruit for Dan Lanning and the Ducks, but he got caught in a crowded room over there with Dante Moore coming back and Dylan Raiola transferring over. But he's young, man. He's got a massive arm, and he fits that development upside mold perfectly. We're not asking him to come in and start day one, but you need competition behind Gunnar Stockton. You need someone pushing the standard every single day in practice. This reminds me of when we bring in high school level talent just to raise the floor of the room. He's got 4 years of eligibility, and he's going to be a chess piece for the future for sure.
You just said it, man. Competition is always going to be king, right? Look, I know other shows are out there right now spending 20 minutes debating on Gunnar Stockton versus past quarterbacks. They're asking if he can throw the deep ball against a zone coverage, right? But let them debate, man. I'm telling you right now, Gunnar doesn't need to be Stetson Bennett. He don't even need to be Carson Beck. With Canyon on the outside and Dowdell, along with the other guys behind him running downhill, Gunnar just needs to be the point guard. And with his legs, he adds a dimension that we haven't seen in Athens in years. So look, when you zoom out and you see the 105-man roster and those 9 surgical transfers that Kirby just brought in, and the fact that we kept our core intact of that number 1 and number 2 recruiting class, this isn't a rebuild. This is a reinforcement. We aren't trying to figure out who we are like Florida is or Auburn is. We know exactly who we are. We just went out and bought specific tools to get the job done. I believe this is a playoff roster, and the floor for us is the semifinals.
I couldn't agree more. We plugged the holes in the secondary and got our physical edge back. Everyone wanted to claim this dynasty was over, but that's a big mistake. We didn't rebuild, we reloaded, so buckle up because this season is going to be special. I truly believe it.
I believe it too, my man, and I couldn't have said it better myself. You know, August, it feels like a long ways away, but it's going to be here before we know it. But I believe this group is going to be worth the wait. Guys, please sound off in the comments. Who is your day one impact player? Who's going to make the most impact on day one? So let's get a debate going. But, you know, guys, with that, we're out of here. And without further ado, you know what it is, baby.
Go Dogs!
It's the Bulldog Nation, yeah, we ride until we die.